Yo, in this video, I'm gonna show you guys the best settings for low-end PCs to get the max FPS and to reduce delay. Regardless of the PC you have, whether it is a low-end PC or a high-end PC, using these settings and these tips that I'm gonna show you will 100% improve your FPS and will make your game feel so much better. If you guys do enjoy these videos, then make sure to leave a like and subscribe if you're new. The best way to support me is to become a channel member or to use my code Witeout in the item shop. So now without wasting any more time, let's get right into the video. So before I show you guys the best in-game settings, I am going to show you guys a few settings inside your PC to boost your FPS and also to reduce delay. So for the first step in this video, we need to go into the NVIDIA control panel. So once you go into the NVIDIA control panel, you need to make your way into the manage 3D settings. And if you guys scroll down, you can see where it says power management mode. You need to have this set to prefer maximum performance. Using this setting is similar to using performance mode in Fortnite. This is going to make your GPU use all of its power, and by doing that, it's going to give you a huge FPS boost. All of these settings are completely optimized to boost your FPS and to reduce your delay. So if you guys want to copy all of these settings quickly, then you can. Just pause this video and go back if you need to. And depending on what GPU you have, you might not have some of these settings I have, and I might have settings that you don't have. The next step for this video is to update your drivers. This can be the reason why your GPU is not performing to the max power that it has, and why your game could be running very slow. This also applies to AMD users as well. Always check your drivers to make sure they're up to date. There is usually a notification that pops up in my GeForce experience for whenever a new driver releases. You guys also need to update your keyboard and mouse drivers. To do this, we need to go into our device manager. You guys should also see a lot of drivers on here. There may be multiple devices when you click on them, which is okay. We need to right click on all of these devices and update the drivers. Once you do that, go to search automatically for drivers. If it says the best drivers for your device are already installed, then that means you have the current drivers for your keyboard and mouse. And for this next step, we're going to be going into the control panel to go into our power options. I believe depending on if you use Windows 10 or Windows 11, this may look different or just may be different to find, but what we need to do is go into our power and sleep settings. Then on the right it should say additional power settings. So once you click on that, it should say preferred plan. You want to make sure it is set to high performance because this is going to be giving you more FPS. If it doesn't say high performance, just make sure this setting is not on energy saving because your PC will lose performance, meaning you won't be getting the max FPS your PC can handle. Just think of all of these performance settings as Fortnite's performance mode rendering mode. And now the last thing before we go into our Fortnite settings is to get rid of the high resolution textures. So for this, we need to go into our Epic Games launcher. Just a disclaimer, turning this setting off will make your game look worse than it already is, since we're going to be getting rid of the high textures. This is going to make your game run faster and it will make your game feel less delayed. So to do this, you want to open up your Epic Games launcher, then go to your library. Then you should see 3 dots on all of your games on the right side. You want to right click on it on Fortnite, then go to options, and now you guys should see where it says high textures and save the world. If you guys don't play save the world, then you can also uncheck that. So you just want to make sure these high textures are unchecked. Then you guys can press OK. So now I am going to be giving you guys the best in-game settings. Alright, so now we are in our Fortnite settings. So now the first settings we're going to be looking at is our game settings. And now looking at our display settings, you want to make sure your windowed mode is set to full screen. The reason being because it will give you the least input delay, and as it even says, it will make your game run the fastest. For your resolution, you want to keep this at native res. Even if you're using a stretch res, you still want to have that set to full screen in 1920 1080. But if your PC is really bad and struggling to get FPS, then you can set this to 1600 x 900. So now moving on to your frame rate, this does depend on the monitor you have. So I have a 240Hz monitor, so I will be using 240 FPS. There is no reason why anyone should be using 360 FPS because there is no way in endgame you're going to be getting that. So if you do have a 144Hz monitor, you can keep that at 144. But if you do have a decent PC and you are using performance mode, you can set that to 160. But if you are struggling to get FPS, then you should keep that at 144. Moving on to the graphics quality, this next step is going to be optional, but lowering your 3D resolution can slightly increase your FPS. I would recommend not going any lower than 80%. Going lower than 80% is obviously going to make your game look terrible, but just slightly lowering your res will give you a little FPS boost. And now moving on to your graphics quality, you just want to turn all of these settings to low, and also you do want to be using low meshes. Going into our advanced graphics settings, make sure your VSync is turned off, and turn on show FPS just to see what your FPS is. And now I'm assuming you guys know what I'm using already. And now the most important setting you do want to have turned on is performance mode. Performance mode is better for getting FPS compared to DX11 or 12. The only downside of using performance mode is obviously your graphics, but you are going to be getting the most amount of FPS on performance mode. So if you're on DX11 or DX12, then you need to switch to performance mode. So once you switch to performance mode, you need to make sure you restart your game in order for it to work. And now the last setting you do need to change is your sound quality settings. You want to make sure your sound quality settings is set to low. There is no reason why you should have this on high, but having it on low will increase your FPS. So that is all of the settings that you guys should use to get an FPS boost. There definitely are more settings that you guys should change to get more FPS. So if you guys do want to see more videos like this, then make sure to leave a like and subscribe if you're new. Also, I'd really appreciate it if you guys can use my code Witeout in the item shop. So with all that said, I hope you guys have an amazing day, and I'll see you guys in the next video.
Ran away from the past and the nonsense. Tired of toxic games, not an option. Made it up from the mud.